Okay, so this is the question I get asked more than anything else in consultations. Should I visit one island or two? And I'm going to be straight with you. This is the decision that makes or breaks more Hawaii trips than anything else. Get it wrong, and you'll spend your vacation rushing around feeling like you didn't really experience anything. Get it right, and you'll actually relax. So, how do you decide? Here's the framework I use, and it comes down to four main factors: your total trip length, whether this is your first time, what kind of vacation you want, and honestly, how you handle travel logistics. Trip length is the big one. If you're here for 5 days or less, one island. End of story. I know Oahu and Maui are only a 30-minute flight apart. I know it seems doable, but here's what actually happens. You lose half a day on your inner island travel day. You're checking out, schlepping bags, getting to the airport early, waiting for your flight, picking up a new rental car, checking into a new place. Best case scenario, that's 4 hours. Realistic scenario, it's more like 6. And for a short trip, that's a massive chunk of your vacation gone. If you've got a week, 7 to 9 nights, you can make 2 islands work, but it needs to be the right split. Something like 5 nights on one island, 2 or 3 on another. That gives you enough time to settle into each place. Any more splitting than that, and you're just living out of a suitcase. 10 days or more? Now you've got some real options. You can comfortably do 2 islands, maybe even 3 if you're an aggressive traveler, though honestly, I rarely recommend 3 islands even with 2 weeks. There's a difference between seeing a place and experiencing them. Now, first-time visitors have a different calculation. If you've never been to Hawaii and you're not sure you'll be back, there's this pull to see it all. I get it. But trying to cram in 3 or 4 islands in 10 days means you're going to have a greatest hits reel of memories with no depth to any of them. You'll see the famous beach, eat at the famous restaurant, take the famous photo, then rush to the next island to do it again. Instead, what if you picked 1 or 2 islands and actually got to know them? Went to the same beach twice because you loved it the first time, found a local coffee shop you went to every morning, had time for that spontaneous sunset you weren't planning on. That's the stuff you remember. Here's another angle. What kind of vacation do you really want? And be honest with yourself, because this is where people mess up. If you want beaches, snorkeling, Mai Tais by the pool, and maybe 1 or 2 activities, you don't need multiple islands. Pick an island with great beaches. Maui, Kauai, Oahu, and stay put. One island has plenty of beaches to explore. But maybe you're the type who wants maximum variety. You want volcanoes and beaches, rainforests and resort pools, small town Hawaii and nightlife. Okay, then 2 islands might make sense. Something like Maui in the Big Island. You get resort beaches on Maui, active volcanoes on Big Island. Or Oahu and Kauai, city energy in Waikiki, then dramatic nature on Kauai's North Shore. But be realistic about whether you'll actually enjoy that much movement, or if it's just FOMO driving the decision. The logistics question is huge, and people underestimate it. Moving between islands isn't just about the flight time. It's checking out of your hotel, returning one rental car, flying, picking up another rental car, navigating to a new place, checking in, unpacking again. If you've got little kids, if anyone in your group has mobility issues, if you're a light packer who hates dealing with luggage, all of that matters. Some people love the variety and don't mind the logistics. They pack light, they're organized, they think of it as part of the adventure. Other people find it stressful and would rather have a home base. Neither is wrong, but you need to know which type of traveler you are. Here's something else nobody talks about. Inner island flights aren't always convenient. You might find yourself with an awkward 2 p.m. flight that means you check out at 11 a.m., but can't check into your new place until 3 or 4 p.m. So what do you do with those hours? You're too tired to do a big activity, but too keyed up to just sit around the airport. My general rule of thumb, if you're here for less than a week, stick to 1 island. 7 to 9 nights, you can do 2 islands if you're comfortable with logistics and you want that variety. 10 days or more, 2 islands can be great, but don't feel like you have to just because you have the time. And honestly, there's something really nice about staying in one place. You learn where things are, you find your favorite morning coffee spot, you discover that beach that's not in the guidebooks because you talked to somebody at your hotel. You settle in. That's harder to do when you're moving every few days. Now, which 2 islands make sense together? That depends on what you want to see. Oahu and Maui is the most common combo. You get that city energy in Waikiki plus resort beaches and the road to Hana on Maui. Maui and the Big Island gives you the classic Hawaii scenery plus active volcanoes and dramatic landscapes. Kauai and anything else gives you arguably Hawaii's most stunning natural beauty alongside whatever else you want. What I don't usually recommend is trying to do Oahu just for Pearl Harbor and then flying out. If you're going to visit an island, give it at least 2 full days. Otherwise, you're just checking a box, and that flight time isn't worth it. Here's the thing, and this is where the consultation becomes really valuable. The right answer for you depends on your specific situation. How you travel, what you do, whether you've been before, whether you plan to come back. I can give you this framework, but I can't tell you definitively whether you should do one island or two without knowing more about your trip. But if I had to give you just one piece of advice, when in doubt, stay on one island. You'll have less stress, more relaxation, better memories. You can always come back and see another island next time, but you can't get back the vacation time you spend in airports and rental car shuttles. So that's a framework: trip length, first time versus return visitor, what kind of vacation you want, and your logistics tolerance. Run your trip through these filters and you'll have a much better sense of whether one island or two makes sense for you. And if you're still unsure after thinking through all of that, that's exactly the kind of decision we can work through in consultations, because sometimes you need someone to ask the right questions and help you see what matters most for your specific trip. All right, that's it for this one. Next week, I'll have a mini episode about beach parking, which is probably the most practical thing I'll talk about all month. See you then.